Hey guys, we're going to be doing another monochrome painting. This time we're going to be doing it with M. Graham. The color is Napthol red. This is probably hands down my favorite red. I can't tell you why it's my favorite red because I'm really not sure, but I love everything about this color. It's such a beautiful color. It pops. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous color, and I'm really fond of it. And if I could only use one red for the rest of my painting life, I would probably pick this red. So M. Graham, as you guys, most of you know, is mixed with honey, so they don't always solidify as easily as other stuff. So you do kind of have to be a little careful with them because they will get kind of, I guess, gel-like, and if you've got them in a palette, then they run sometimes. So you do have to be careful. I have pulled my M. Grahams from my little pans here and kind of set them in a separate palette so that I could cover them with some press and seal or cling wrap if need be. But we're going to do this like we did our last one, where we're going to start with a shape and then we're going to build up on it. In this case, I guess we're going to honor Valentine's Day, and I am just using a stack of postcards that I glued together on the side, and I can separate them. I put them together basically just like a watercolor block, so I didn't have to tape them down and I wouldn't have the border. But I'm going to do this like I did last time, and when I need to dry everything, then I'm going to just pause everything and go from there. So I'm going to start off with kind of a bigger brush. I'm going to lay down a light base color, and I didn't want to try and do that with my other brush because that will take forever. But as you guys know, watercolor dries lighter than it shows up. So we're just going to get all of these in here. Okay, make sure I get all of that. And just like before, this doesn't have to be perfect. It's not anything, it's not that serious. So, all right, first layer's down. We're going to pause for a moment and then we'll be back. All right, we're back. We're going to add a little bit more red to this, and then we will test it. See if it's where we want it. And like before, you know, this can be done in as many layers as you want. So I am not a good heart drawer. I always sort of have crappy lopsided hearts. I've always, even as a kid, I was always like, why do my hearts always look funny? But it doesn't matter because this is supposed to be for fun. So you can see that with this Napthol red, you can actually get a pretty solid pink out of it. It's kind of a soft pink, I guess. I have a friend who is a pinkaholic, and she would love this pink. We're just gonna come in just a little bit here. Make it a little more heart-ish. A little more heart-ish. Alright. And I kind of screwed that up because I was going to go around it, but actually no, I didn't. Not yet. I thought I did, but I didn't. But anyway, so again, not that serious. So there's our heart. We've got our base layer that we started with. We're on our second layer, and give me a moment. We're going to dry this and be right back. All right, our second layer is mostly dry. Feels a little damp up there, so we'll see how that goes. We're going to add a little more red. Mix it up. See what we got. I think I want a little more in there. Like that. And then we're going to come behind this and make another heart. So I have plenty of opportunity here to make funny lopsided hearts. Like I said before, I feel like these layered stuff like this is just relaxing to your brain. I think there's like studies out there about how this kind of repetition actually is soothing to your brain, and it's definitely true for me. I'm just gonna fill it in, and if you can, try to make sure that all your edges are still a little damp when you meet them. Otherwise, you're gonna get another, I guess, kind of layer in there. There we go. It would have been nice if I'd gotten that in the middle of the postcard, wasn't it? Oh well, it's all good. All right, another dry. All right, layer 3 down. So making these shapes is a little harder with this big brush, but I don't want to be filling in with a smaller brush, and I don't really feel like changing brushes, so we're just gonna keep on. I guess I should have tested this one first, but we're just gonna call that color good. I think it probably could have used a hair more red in it, but that's okay. Art should be fun, not stressful. I think sometimes we forget that. Like I talked about in another video, I feel like perfectionism is just the biggest killer for anything creative. And if you don't have fun with it, then what's the point? Isn't that part of the joy of just being creative? So I like doing stuff on this postcard size because it's big enough that you're not trying to cram in details and really teeny tiny stuff. My hat's off to those people that do the little mini things, because I can't do it. I need a little space. I guess I don't have that much control yet. But it's also not so big that you're overwhelmed. All right. Looks like we got that filled in. I'm just gonna go ahead and do our color here, and then we will dry. I actually don't think I had watered this Napthol red down a lot prior. The pinks that it produces are actually really nice. Okay, another dry. All right, I think I may have a little glue damage on this edge, or on some of the edges from the glue that I used, and when I pulled off the other card above it, it looks like it damaged it a little bit, but no worries. That's not gonna be dark enough. How about this? Gonna have to re-wet my red just a little bit. There we go. I should probably do it. I guess on the plus side, this is a easy way to make lots of hearts. So if you don't like one that you did the first time, then you can fix it. You can actually do this with a lot of different shapes and end up with some really neat patterns in the end. I want to do one with a wavy shape that I saw, show you guys. I don't know what color I'm doing it with yet, but it ended up making this really cool effect. So that's going to be one of my videos. I just don't know when. I figured the heart in honor of Valentine's Day was a decent choice, and especially since I wanted to use red. Like I said, this Napthol red is just, it's one of my favorites. In fact, I got it and immediately was like, oh wow, I really, really like this red. My edge dried a little bit, so I'm just gonna kind of touch up in there. Oh, a little watery. So I have found that these postcards will take a fair bit of water. They're gonna buckle a little bit, but they do flatten back out. And then they come in a tin of 25 or 25, I think. And I usually tape them down, but I wanted to try having them single. I knew if I was painting then I was gonna need something, you know, to hold. So I decided to try some, put together like a block of paper. So I got the appropriate glue for that, and did a few bunches of them to see when I layered them, you know, smushed them together how I wanted to do stuff. And in the end, for the most part, they turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. But all right, let's try this one. All right, you can see we added a little bit extra water there, so we got some blooms that were trying to happen, but it's okay, doesn't matter. Gonna add a little more here. Let's see, do I like it? Nope, I want some more. Okay, I think that'll do it. All right. Catching those edges again. Just a little. I have a really bad habit of going back and wanting to fiddle with stuff. It's a very hard habit to break. But I have found when you do that with watercolor, you have to be very careful because you will likely make your problem worse. Or just create significant other problems. So I try not to fiddle too much, but it is hard. I'm not... That perfectionist streak does come out, and I'm like, oh, I don't like that. Let me fix it. But your best bet is always to wait until it dries for the most part. But on these little layered things, you can tweak if you need to, at least a little bit. Why? Because it's not that serious. Just have fun. There we go. Go ahead and get some more paint out of here. I'll test it in just a moment. Let's see if I need more. I need to... There we go. All right, and we're gonna dry this one. How many more layers should we do? I'm not sure. I'd say at least 3. Let's see. All right. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe 3 or 4 layers. Let's see how I feel about this. Well, I think we could do a little more. I am making a mess of this brush today. That's okay. This is one of the brushes that I got from Rosemary and Company. See, I need a little more red. All right, let's try that. That's a little better. So this is one of the Rosemary and Company quill brushes. I had a set from Rebel Unicorn Crafts, and it's funny because the brushes that I got from Rosemary and Company kind of like ended up being right between sizes that I got from Lacey, and so I ended up with a pretty decent set of these quill brushes because of it, as far as size goes. All right. Do this. So when you've got a drier edge like that, a lot of times you can just touch it with fresh paint, and because it's not dry, it'll follow that channel and re-wet. And get this filled in all the way to the edge there. There we go. Okay. There we go. All right. Maybe we'll just do one more after this. We'll see. All right. Get my red here. All right. I guess we're just gonna kind of go straight from my pan, my wet pan. Enough, so I'm gonna do that. You can see that really pretty red coming through. Like I said, I really like this red. When I got it, it immediately was my favorite red, I think. I have a yellow that was like that I'm trying to decide what I'm gonna do with it for a painting, because it's again, if I could only pick one, it would be that one. So I'm interested to like show it to you, but I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with it. I feel like doing monochrome stuff kind of tests you too, because you have to think about the light and dark and, you know, how to make it work. All right. Okay. Got really sloppy on that edge. I was getting close to it. All right. So, yep, that'll be our last layer. That came mostly from the pan. Get my thing empty here. All right. Give me a moment and we will dry this, and then we'll see our Valentine. I don't have to wash that. All right. Be right back. All right, and there we are, all dry. So you got your layers. Clearly I made a little mess under here, so it kind of went to the back of this postcard, but it'll be okay. And, can make a design on the back of it. Right. So you could decorate this with text or anything else you wanted, but that is the Napthol red. Like I said, probably my favorite red that I have. And I have a lot of them, but kind of a cool little project. I feel like this would even be doable for, you know, kids or something. You'd be able to create something kind of neat. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that, and go out and have some fun and go paint.